Hello, fellow cyborgs, and welcome to a TBR. I don't record these a lot because I'm just not that kind of booktuber, but today you get one. The TBR I'm going to be talking about today is for a 24-hour comics readathon that I am putting on myself. I am part of a private book club, and me and my lady friends decided that we needed a reason to get to all of those comic books and graphic novels that we've been putting off. So we decided on the 19th of September as the day of comic books. And by comic books, we mean anything that is graphically and typographically a story. Manga, webcomics, newspaper comics, graphic novels, trade paperbacks of comics, single issue, whatever your heart desires, any graphic story medium, and you can read it. The details will be in the description below, but it will start midnight the morning of Saturday, the 19th of September, and end at midnight the following day. 24 full hours of comic book reading. So I have a lot of comics in my possession that I just haven't got to because, of course, the things that you don't have always take precedence over the things you do have, or at least I find that happens with me all the time. Volumes 7 and 8 of The Unwritten I have obviously read, volumes 1 through 6, so these have just been on my shelves for ages and I just need an excuse to get to them, and this readathon is that perfect excuse. Then I've got East of West, volumes 1 and 2. I have already read volume 1 and have started to read volume 2 a couple times but have been thoroughly confused, so I need to go back and reread volume 1 with a more critical, not confused eye, and hopefully then I can get through volume 2 and decide if I will be picking up volumes 3 and 4, which are already out. This is how backwards and backlogged I am. And then we've got volume 7 of Hellboy. I have read volumes 1 through 6, thoroughly enjoyed it. Enjoyed it so much that I cosplayed as a Hellboy at one of the conventions I went to this year, and I just need to get to this. And I have a collection of single issues of Incognito, written by Ed Brubaker. I really love me some Ed Brubaker. He and I understand each other. He's really cool. And I've slowly been picking through his different series to see which ones I like the most. This one I've read a couple issues on, but I haven't gotten through the collection I have, and I need to. I also have the complete series of Air by G. Willow Wilson in the single issues. I picked this up for cheaps at a comic book fair last year. If you haven't read A Leaf the Unseen by G. Willow Wilson, check it out. I give it 5 stars. It's freaking fantastic. Genies and hackers and dream worlds. Yeah, so that's why I'm reading this, because G. Willow Wilson is kind of awesome. Ow. Okay. Also haven't read this yet. I backed the Kickstarter that Frank Bador, the author of the Looking Glass Wars series, recently hosted. One of the reward tiers was to get all of the Hatter M comic books in a box set. I decided to do it, and then they just keep sitting. These graphic novels take place in between the first Looking Glass Wars book. So there's a section where Hatter M and Alice get thrown into the pool of tears to escape the evil Red Queen, and they get separated. And so this comic book series chronicles Hatter M's adventures in the various places he ends up. And I have a a Jumbo Comics double digest of Betty and Veronica. This, I think, was the first comic book series that I ever read. Not that I've read the entire series, I've dipped in and out. But one of my first friends used to pick them up and introduced them to me, and I had a small, teeny tiny collection that I've, of course, given away. But this was a recent purchase because nostalgia and self-care and everything like that. I haven't gotten to it yet, and this it would be really quick, probably ridiculously cute, and a nice way to break up maybe the more intense comic books that I've previously showed you. Speaking of breaking up the intensity, Calvin and Hobbes! You guys know how much I adore Calvin and Hobbes and how much Calvin and Hobbes make me giggle, and I have these two collection bind-ups that I have not got to yet, still have not got to it because reasons like life. So this will be another perfect opportunity to finally get through these two, so then I can buy more and read the rest. I've just showed you all of those comic books that I already own that need to be read, but of course, I put comic books on hold from the library because the things that you don't own are more exciting than the things that you do, apparently. So I'll show you those next. First up is volume 1 of Amulet. This is a super recommendation from Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings. She really loved volumes 1 through 3 of this series, and it was in my local library, and I decided. Then I have this edition of Fairy Tale Comics. I guess it's the equivalent of a comic book short story collection, so you've got different small comics written by different authors, illustrated by different illustrators, and they're all fairy tale retellings. I'll give it a go, didn't have to spend any money, and hopefully it will be delightful. And finally, I have volumes 2 and 3 of Lazarus. I own and have read the first volume, and was waiting for the second one to come out, and then somehow life got in the way, and now there are 2 more ones that I have to read. I don't know how much I like the series yet, but I'm assuming, let's hope, that these 2 volumes will let me know my actual thoughts. Well, that is it for me today. Down below will be all of the information you need if you would like to participate in the 24-hour comics readathon with me and my friends. If you do, please let me know. I would love to hear what comics you plan on reading and if you succeed at your goals on that day. Thank you for watching, and until next time, continue to be lovely.